1, 2, say. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us the dews, drew quivering and chill. The only gossamer in my gown, my tippet only two. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice and the ground. Since then 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. Good morning to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Julia Massey, and I'm so delighted to be a part of today's Style Midweek performance. And I know a little bit about Style. I know that it's an acronym for Songwriting through Youth Literature Education. And so I picked that first song to play for you because it has to do with my love of literature, specifically my love for the poet Emily Dickinson. And a long time ago, when I first moved to Seattle, I played that song, which uses the lyrics from one of her poems. And one of the people in the crowd really likes Emily Dickinson too, and she presented me with her anthology a couple of weeks later, and it was a really touching moment for me. So I treasure this particular piece of literature, this anthology of Emily Dickinson's poems. And any of you budding songwriters out there, I do encourage you to use poetry that maybe is already written, or maybe you've written your own, and as lyrics for a song. So that's the one I want to start with today. Now I'm going to move gears and I'm going to switch over to the keyboards. I'm working the lights here, so thanks for your patience. So one of the other things that I do besides play on my own is I play in a band called Warren Dunes. And we play postmodern beach music, and I would be remiss if I didn't play a couple of songs that my bandmates and I play too. So right now I'm going to play a song for you that's brand new for our band, and it's called No Mud, No Lotus. And for me, that's a really appropriate sentiment right now, because if you look at a lotus flower, how beautiful it is. If you think about it, you couldn't have it without all the mud that's deep down underneath. So that's how I'm choosing to view these times. So here it is. Reaching out to catch all the mamas and babies, high the hopes and the maybes. Are they driving you crazy? No so much. Thank you, thank you. That song is called No Mud, No Lotus. And I'm actually going to be performing that with my full band on a live stream through the High Dive on June 5th at 6:30 Pacific time. So if you want to hear that song a little more robust with a few more instruments, tune in on June 5th. And while I'm here, I'm just going to put this up. Here are two ways that you can also support the arts via myself. It's PayPal and Venmo. Here are the options. I've been told that it is not a mirrored effect, but if it is, hopefully Jeff Larson, who is an incredible friend of mine and who helps run Style, will type those in. It's just Julia-Massey-5 on Venmo and JuliaMassey@gmail for PayPal. On with the show. This next one is also inspired by one of my favorite pieces of literature, which is the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And this was one of those books that was assigned to me in high school, and I did actually read it. I enjoyed reading it. I got a lot out of it, and then it was many, many years before I even thought about the book again. Somebody gave it to me for the holidays for a present, and I reread it, and I was reminded once again of how powerful really good books are and their ability to teach you more with every read. And so I wrote a song called Learning It All Again that's based on my rereading of Siddhartha. Here we go. Opened Hermann Hesse's book, many years in between these looks, come to find all the things that stay and of how I've changed. All the sorrows, all the tomorrows, all of the dances, all the romances, all of the teachers, all of the reachers, all of the learners, learning it all again. If you want to be free of pain, learn to see everything that fades. All the sorrows, all the tomorrows, all of the dances, all the romances, all of the teachers, all of the reachers, all of the learners, learning it all again. All the sorrows, all of the dances, all of the teachers, all of us learners, we're all learning it all again. We're learning it all friends, was your in-person tutorial on what to do when you have changed keys a few more times than you expected. I hope you enjoyed that sort of strange cadence at the end there. I know I'm going to revisit it and see what I was up to. In fact, it brings up something that I've really enjoyed recently in terms of music, which is learning about when you get something wrong when you're performing. And as performers, and all of my friends who are in performing arts will tell you that it's sort of an inevitable thing. But if you can stay calm and go through it, most people just don't even realize it happened. Or if you can stay in the present moment, it ends up being a happy mistake. So that's how I'm considering the end of that song. And I hope that when you go into performing mode, that you can just enjoy the whole ride and not get caught up if you make any mistakes along the way. It's a big lesson, I have to admit. All right, moving right along. Let's see, we just did the Emily Dickinson one. We did No Mud, No Lotus, learning it all again. Oh, yes. I want to move on to a song that has to do with a real, true story from my life that has to deal with a bear. So when I was living in Colorado many years ago, I was over at a house taking care of a little baby. And the baby was asleep, and I was in the house. And I thought I heard the parents come home and bring their car into the garage, which was attached to the house. I think you know where this is going. I thought I heard them come in, so I was getting all ready, getting all situated for them to come in. I could give them a report. And nobody came in the house. I kept on waiting for them to come through the door from the garage into the house, and nobody showed up. So finally, I was curious enough myself, and I opened up the door. But I had an interesting experience. When I first looked in the garage, it was an empty garage because I couldn't conceive of what was actually in there. So I did a double take, a true double take, where I looked once and I didn't see it. And then I looked a second time and saw a 500-pound brown bear eating the trash in the garage. Needless to say, I was totally stunned. Closed the door, a few phone calls to the authorities later, and the bear getting scared out of the garage, and finally processing this whole experience. I came back home a few months later and wrote this song, which is called I Saw the Bear. Okay. Let's get this here. And another thing that some of you budding songwriters may already know, but just in case you don't, when you're going to play the guitar, because it's an instrument that can shift tones, if you get the chance to tune before you play, that greatly improves the chances of it sounding good. Okay, this song is about the bear that I saw in the house. I saw the bear come in the house. He made me fearful of the doubt that he should be inside rather than outside. Don't be scared, said the bear. The love we share is everywhere. daddy died. I saw the mouse convince the cat to set it free from its swift grasp. But when she then ran away, the cat took it back. Don't be sad, said the mouse. The love we share flows beyond small clouds. Gather up all these spells, and all you'll have left is gone without a trace. La da, la da, la da, la da, dee da, dee da, dee da, da da. Wow, thanks, folks. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. It's such fun time to get to play acoustic. And I don't know if some of you out there have instruments at home, but you can really play with just about anything around you, even if it's your hands, whether you want to stomp your feet and create a rhythm. There is no obstacle between you and music. And I want to toss these up here just one more time. And I also want to thank Jeff Larson and everybody who runs Style, because the sentence songwriting through youth literature education, it might be one of the better collection of words. I just think that songwriting and literature, come on, doesn't everybody love that? So thanks, and thanks for including me. And part of the reason that I'm here is also through an organization called the Bushwick Book Club of Seattle, which is something that I recommend you looking up. Taking a look at my set list here. Okay, we went through those songs. I think it might be time for me to do something that I really like to do, which is play a brand new song. This brand new song is called Quit Taking a Side. Okay. Let's see if we can find it over here. Doot doot. Okay. Now this one has some changes in time signature, which is something that I like to play around with from time to time. I know what you're gonna say. This has already been played many times before, but that only means that it's a message that you cannot ignore. Taking a sec, 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 we're taking a side, we're taking a side, walk through the open door. Whew. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, really, 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 you're too kind. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this today. It's really a joy to connect with kids. I'm also an elementary school teacher myself. I work as an assistant teacher at Whittier Elementary. Shout out to Whittier, paws up, and all of the Seattle area schools. I just want to shout out the kids who are being really as flexible as they can right now and having as good of an attitude as they can. You're all heroes, all right? You're heroes and heroines, and you're inspiring all of us. So keep up the great work. Keep it up. And I have one more song here for you today. This one is a song that I played a long time ago, and today's been sort of a fun flashback to songs of my past, as well as that brand new one that you heard. And I hope that as you, a budding or maybe a seasoned creative individual, songwriter, artist in your own right, are not afraid to try and create anything on any day. Because I know for myself, when that part of my life gets put to the side, I really notice it. So I do encourage you to go out there and have fun and create, and don't be afraid of what you might create. This last tune is called Here is a Stone Wall, and I hope you enjoy it and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and week. Here is a stone wall. Here is a hard fall. Here is a long road. Here is a small hole. Here is a porch swing, and all the sunsets sing. Here is a soft goodnight. Don't let the bad bugs bite. Here are the fireflies, lighting up the summer skies. Caught in a jar of glass, poke some holes in them to help them last. And here are the hard goodbyes, love you till the day I die. Here's where regrets all fade into the life from which you're made. Here's where the warm sand sifting through your perfect hand. Here's where you laugh again in the memory of a friend. Here's where you find the truth. It's the heart and soul of you. Here's where the body fades, beautiful in every way. And here's where the songs we sung lead into the constant one. Turn all your fears to love. There is nothing left undone. Here is the porch swing, watching all saw the sunset sing. Here is a soft good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your morning. I'm Julia Massey, and my band Warren Dunes is going to be playing full set on June 5th at the High Dive in your home at 6:30. So I hope you can join us then. And in general, I just want you to know you're doing a great job. You're doing such a great job. And we're all rooting for each other to get through this. So keep it up. Thanks to Style, and see you next time.